Welcome to our post-draft segment of Meet the Future presented by Kubota. I'm Scott Van Coonet, and with me is Sportsnet's draft expert, Sam Cosentino. Sam, we've talked about the strength of the CHL. We've talked about some notable picks. Today, I want to dive a little bit deeper on some of the players that when they got picked, you said, man, that's a great fit for them.
I'll start with Jamie Drysdale going to Anaheim. And, there was a situation there where there was two defensemen clearly above the rest of the class. Jake Sanderson went fifth to Ottawa, and that left Jamie Drysdale left for whoever was going to jump up. And obviously, Anaheim did that, picking sixth. But I compare Drysdale pretty favorably to that of Cam Fowler, who's a guy, is around 6 feet, amazing skater, as it was with Fowler. That was kind of the thing that jumped out about his game. Really good puck mover, some offensive skill. You're looking at Fowler. I think he's played 10 years, his entire career with Anaheim. And Drysdale is of that character that you could see him, signing, making his way to the NHL, and then just staying with that team forever and ever, because you'd want to have that guy, almost like Pietrangelo, for the amount of time that he spent with St. Louis before, obviously, moving over to Vegas. So I thought that was a real perfect fit, because they've had some success with a player of similar ilk to Drysdale. I think Drysdale probably has a little bit more offensive upside than what Fowler has shown in the National Hockey League. So I really like the fit there. The next guy would be Justin Barron, Halifax defenseman picked by the Colorado Avalanche. And well, how the heck is that a pick? Well, when you look at where Justin's from, Halifax, not just playing for the Mooseheads, but from the city as well. Of course, you have the Nathan MacKinnon connection. So that one's too hard to deny. When you have someone who works as hard as Nathan, who is able to bring along someone like Justin Barron, despite being at a different position, yet when you look at both players, the thing that they talk about most about those two is the skating. Whereas Nathan MacKinnon is a real powerful skater. Barron may be more of a smooth skater. But I think when it comes to the ability to learn from someone who's been around, learn from someone who's taken pretty much the exact same path as MacKinnon through Halifax to the National Hockey League, Justin Barron, Colorado Avalanche, perfect fit there. The last one would be Ryan O'Rourke. He was selected in the second round by Minnesota. Minnesota made some drastic moves and really just trying to change their culture. Bill Guerin, and whether the culture was, I don't think it was bad. It was probably, in my opinion, more stale than anything. So a lot of that old guard that had been around Minnesota was moved out, and Bill Guerin was, made himself pretty clear in him wanting to change what was happening there. So when I think about, the character issues and trying to rebuild that chemistry, that that the type of thing that really helps teams move forward, the tradition, the history, the culture, I think Ryan O'Rourke's the perfect guy to do that. Now, is he going to be able to do that right away? Not likely, but I'd say 2 and 3 years down the road, you're looking at a guy like O'Rourke who's going to anchor the back end and play a variety of roles for Minnesota, yet also show that character and the leadership quality once he's settled into his National Hockey League career there. So you talk about a team that's really kind of reorganizing its culture, and you're taking a young man in O'Rourke who speaks nothing but culture when you look at the entirety of his game.
How important is it for these prospects when they go to an NHL club to have somebody like a Cam Fowler or somebody like a Nathan MacKinnon to lean on and draw experiences from those guys?
Well, it's huge, and if you don't have the experience of having been around the NHL, and we talk about so many of the ex-players' kids that have really benefited from that, because they're not going to be shell-shocked by, getting on a bus and going to a hotel, or getting on the plane, or making your own meals, or that sort of thing. So having that mentor, I think, is huge. And sometimes it can be something as little as, hey, live in this area because the traffic is easier to get to the rink. Live in this area because, there's a couple of good restaurants or a real good grocery store that's close by that you can go to for fresh food and that sort of thing. Sometimes it's, hey, live close to me so that we can ride to the rink together and we continue the mentorship program, if you will. So just those little things, the subtleties, I think they end up being a lot more important than maybe they're given credence for.
Well, I think back to when Sidney Crosby entered the league and he was living with Mario Lemieux, the same kind of scenario.
Yeah, no question. I mean, if you want to be the best, you got to surround yourself with the best, and it's obviously worked out for Crosby.
Well, we know whenever the 21-22 NHL season kicks off that Alexis Lafreniere will be in the Rangers lineup. But I want to know 3 more CHL players that you think can make the leap to the NHL the quickest.
Well, I'm a guy who's always believed that Quinton Byfield would be a guy that requires more time playing in junior. And one of the big things of that next season is the World Juniors. Now, the selection camp was announced. Byfield as a returning player is going to be on that camp. And he's not, even if the NHL were to start January 1st, which I don't believe will happen, he's probably not a guy that's going to start right away with LA. Now, having said all that, one of his teammates from last year is Kirby Dach, who went 3rd overall last year to Chicago. And he's a guy that I thought there was no chance this guy's making it in the NHL. And look at how stupid I am. This guy's he's on the verge of stardom in the National Hockey League. So Byfield would be one of those guys who I think might surprise some people, especially with all the time off. And now he will have had that World Junior experience, that second year where he can play a key role. So it'd be interesting to see that if and when the NHL starts, when camps start, how closely it is to the end of the World Juniors. So I think that's going to be huge for Byfield. I think another guy who's kind of ready to rock and roll is Marco Rossi, picked by Minnesota. He's a late birthday guy. So he's a player, in my opinion, that, with his off-ice work ethic, the way he takes care of himself away from the rink in terms of food, sleep, rest, working out, all those things are on par. And then you look at a guy who led the CHL with 120 points and you're saying, all right, this guy's probably ready to rock and roll. So he would be another one. And I think the other one it's a bit of a reach right now. And I don't think it's going to happen for him this year, but Hendrix Lapierre, it looks like he's fully healthy again. He had 8 points in 4 preseason games. I think as of the time we're recording this, 8 points in 4 regular season games. He's proving that he's healthy. Washington, made an aggressive move to get him where they did. And I think with the entirety of his game and how smart he is, he'll have a chance to make the jump, although I don't think it will happen for him this year. The other two, it may very well happen as the 2020-2021 season.
Well, I don't think that anybody would have predicted that Nick Robertson would be playing in the playoffs for the Toronto Maple Leafs this past summer. So I think anything is possible at this point.
Yeah, no question. But again, that big surprise factor and all that preparation time can definitely change things.
Thanks again for this, Sam.
All right, Scott.